on page 14, item 16, motion, under conclusion of debate, the second sentence, the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker will do for the Chair at 16:31 p.m. The Honorable First Deputy Speaker to the Chair. Deputy is missing, if you could be inserted. And the same applies to the next sentence, so consequential amendment to that. Thank you.
Honorable Member, we are grateful. Table of Office, kindly take note. Page 15. Page 16. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. On page 16, item 9I, name number 11. Honorable Professor Grace.
Page 16.
Page 16.
Yes.
Name number
19, not 9.
19I, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
please.
I'm guided.
Yes.
The arrangement of the title, I see some inconsistency. In some, I know for the standard in our votes and proceedings, we usually have the title, the professor, coming at the end of the name and in brackets. But in this arrangement, the arrangement is different, Honorable Professor. And I see that again on page, we haven't gotten to page 22, but I have seen that repeated several times. So if there could be some consistency with the arrangement, I think that would be helpful, Mr. Speaker.
It doesn't come up.
Thank you.
Honorable Member will take note of that. Page 17. Page 18. Yes, please.
Okay,
thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Page 18. Page 18. Item 11 and 12 has been repeated. Honorable Alfred Ni Koteyashi is both at 11 and 12. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, my attention has been drawn by the chief whips to the fact that there have been some mistakes, errors in the list that was submitted and approved. I think it was on Friday. Yes. And so they are working at it and they will come back to us properly. So we await that. So if you identify some of the issues you are raising now, please kindly hold your peace. We'll get it corrected later on. Please. We'll do that later on. With regard to the composition of the committees, both standing and select committees. So page 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, up to the end of 58 will be taken later on. So please, honorable members, hold your peace until they resubmit the proper composition to the House. In the meantime, the committees by law are established. It's only the composition that we're having issues with. The referral will be to the committees, and that is what will happen after the presentation of the budget. Please, with that, we'll take page 59. Page 60. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 29th sitting, dated Friday, 7th March 2025, is adopted as the true record of proceedings. I have a copy of the official report of Tuesday, 25th February 2025. Any corrections? Honorable members, in the absence of any correction, yes?
Mr. Speaker, some minor corrections on column 79, second paragraph, line 8. Line 8. The former president, John Agyekum Kufuor, names are very significant. The second Kufuor was spelled wrongly. It should be K-U-F-U-O-R, not O-U-R. Kufuor. It's a Kufuor. Then the last paragraph, the last sentence, beginning to tend to that concept. Tend is used here, but I suspect the right word should be tend, T-U-R-N, instead of tend, T-E-N-D. Thank you.
Table office, kindly take note of that. Yes, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on column 75, line 8, the sentence should read, but I want to highlight one important thing that the maker, that it is proper we include that. Still on the same column, line 17. Mr. Speaker, it should read as, I think that apart from the law, the act that was passed by the House, we has been omitted. We should look at the projects. So, Mr. Speaker, the Hansard department the table should include we there. Mr. Speaker, column 76, paragraph 3. We have, Mr. Speaker, lastly, I would want to also suggest that apart from the budgeting uploading of projects, the mistake here is the phrase, the maker of the statement has to be deleted. The maker of the statement has to be deleted and replaced with we, so that it will then read as, Mr. Speaker, lastly, I would want to also suggest that apart from the budgetary offloading of projects, we could include in every brochure, So that, I think, should be the rendition. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the same paragraph, line. I would be able to tell that when I call this investor, they would B. The B is excluded, and it has to be included in the sentence. Be able to, and we replace participate with partner. We will replace participate with partner in the same sentence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, table office, you have to listen to the voice and do the proper thing. Well, this is quite massive, and partner and participate, they are quite different and distinct. So the voice will determine which one to use. Because if you read the standing orders, it talks about it being put in as much as possible is a verbatim reportage of what is said on the floor. Yes, please.
I'm most grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, at column 144 of the official report, my contribution to the tribute to the Osajefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the second paragraph at column 144, the word is faith columnists, not feed. So it should be F-I-F-T-H. What we have here is F-E-E-D. So, Mr. Speaker, if that can be corrected. And then the first paragraph at column 144, Fidel Castro should not belong to that category. It should be put in a different category. So if the corrections could be effected accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, table office, can you take note of that? Yes. Honourable members, there be no further corrections. The official report of the 25th February 2025 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, we will now move on to the item of the day. I mean the main item of the day, that is item 7, statements. The first statement, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on our today's order paper, item 7, as you rightly call, the budget statement and economic policy of the government for the year ending 31st December 2025. Mr. Speaker, I want to invite you to our standing orders, order 195. 2. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I need guidance and I'll read it. Mr. Speaker.
Please, let's listen to the Deputy Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the Minister was Mr. Speaker, Order 1952. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, I need guidance and I read. The budget statement and economic policy of the government shall be presented to the House by the minister responsible for finance on behalf of or on the authority of the president, and in a form the House may determine. Mr. Speaker, I'm emphasizing on the last part, in a form the House may determine. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, this new standing orders on this 9th Parliament, we haven't determined any form the budget statement will be presented as at now. Mr. Speaker, I have gone to read Order 6, and I have checked on our schedule from Schedule 1 to Schedule 10, and that of Order 6, and I have not been able to understand. And as we stand, Mr. Speaker, as at now, the House has not determined the form the budget is going to be presented. So, Mr. Speaker, the House has to determine the form before he can present any statement. Mr. Speaker, that is my plea, that the House must determine, my application is that the House must determine the form of the budget statement before he reads the statement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Public Financial Management Act and its various amendments spell out clearly the budgeting process, the requirements of a budget, what must be contained in it, and etc. And that was a legislation enacted by this same Parliament. And this Parliament acts according to the prescriptions of that legislation. So if there are provisions in the standing orders that recommend that we have a form in which the budget should be presented, the provisions of the Public Financial Management Act, of course, is the parent legislation dealing with financial management and the presentation of budgets. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think there's an issue here. Let's proceed and take the budget statement from the Minister of Finance.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I have listened to the application by the Member of Parliament for Tolon. I have also listened to the Leader of the House responding to the said application. The Leader of the House makes a general submission. The application was anchored on the rules of this House. A mandatory provision in Order 195, there's no may there. It reads, for the avoidance of doubt and at the risk of being repetitive, this is what it says. The budget statement and economic policy of the government shall be presented to the House by the minister responsible for finance on behalf of and on the authority of the president, and in the form the House may determine. Yes, wait, look at him. Mr. Speaker, wait, yes. So, yes, wait. Mr. Speaker, they should take it easy. They should take it easy. They should take it easy. This is law. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. So, Mr. Speaker, what is the reverse logic? Please, for the benefit of our young ones, for the benefits of the young ones, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this Mr. Speaker, this House, if the law says may determine, is it also the case that in reverse logic, the House may decide not to determine any form? But no, wait. The law is that a budget statement must be presented. But we are saying again that as a House, we may have to determine which form. So, Mr. Speaker, the invitation by the minority, the deputy minority whip, is well founded. He is inviting us as a House to determine, are we going to allow him to make a statement, or we are going to allow him to move a motion? Is it going to be in a form of a motion or in a form of a statement? This is a well-anchored application. Don't use your number to shout to intimidate him. He has made a solid argument. This House has not determined the form in which this item has to be taken. The deputy minority whip is inviting us to set the ground rules. The majority leader got up and referred to PFM Act to say what? He didn't quote the specific provision. The man has made an application under our own rules. You didn't attack him on the rules. You didn't know. You didn't say anything against his application on the rules. Mr. Speaker, as the minister is here, in which form are we going to listen to him? Is he going to make a statement, or he is going to move a motion? Mr. Speaker, this House is being invited to determine this matter. You see, the Supreme Court has had an occasion to give a contextual interpretation where may is placed to mean shall. Yes, it is there. No, come on, Mr. Speaker, even that argument aside, put that argument aside. There's no need for any interpretation of whether may should be shall. The point is that the law provides that we should determine the form. The law says we should determine the form. In this House, there are ways to come here. You come to make a statement, you come to move a motion. What is the minister coming to do? It's for this House to determine. Is he going to move a motion in accordance with Article 179, or he's coming to make a statement? And when he makes the statement, what happens? Is it going to be left with a chairman of a finance committee to now move that this House should debate the statement? Mr. Speaker, this is a solid application, and he should be applauded for what he's done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to rule on this matter. I've heard enough. I think in terms of procedure, the right thing has been done. The order you quoted clearly states the statement of the estimates of revenue and expenditure of the government. It says what? The statement. And so what they are bringing to us is a statement. And when statements are admitted, they are presented as statements. Now, when you go to 1952, which you refer to, it says the budget statement and economic policy of the government shall be presented to the House by the minister responsible for finance on behalf of or on the authority of the president. That's first. Second, and in a form the House may determine. Honorable Minority Leader, you are not in a shouting battle. Please. This is the House. The only way the House can determine however you define form is when the statement is presented to you. The House cannot determine this matter outside the House. You can only determine it when you are truly sitting as a House. And this is the House. He's presenting the statement. If you decide that you want a form, you define form in any different manner as you are doing, then this is the time when it is presented, you take this opportunity to determine that form you want, different from the earlier form that we've decided and been practicing. If this is what you want to do, please, the statement must first be presented to you. It has to be presented to the House. And if you may, you determine the form you want it to be presented. That can be part of the debate. But I'm not sure the definition you are putting on the word form. Form. Please go back to your lexicons. To determine the meaning of form. I think the writing is being done. The statement was admitted. It's been properly captured on the order paper as programmed by the business committee, and the minister is here to present the statement to the House. So the minister may do so. So honorable members, Honorable Minister, just a minute. Just a minute. Honorable members, at the commencement, yes.
Mr. Speaker, just to thank you for your guidance and the proper interpretation of 195. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Galamsey for the longest time until I became a Galamsey.
Honourable members, item 7, statements. The budget statement and economic policy of the government for the year ending 31st December 2025. Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, on the authority of His Excellency the President, President John Dramani Mahama, and pursuant to Article 179 of the Constitution and the other paper, and the standing orders of the House, Order 1952, and today's order paper, item 7. Mr. Speaker, I present to you the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2025. Right Honorable Speaker, today marks a moment of great significance, and I have the singular honor to stand before this House to present, on behalf of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, following his extraordinary mandate, the maiden budget of his new administration. Mr. Speaker, I'm deeply grateful to His Excellency the President for entrusting me with this responsibility. Respectfully, Mr. Speaker, I also submit to this House the following statutory report as required by law. The 2024 annual report on the Petroleum Funds, in line with Section 48 of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act 2011, Act 815, as amended, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also submit the 2024 Energy Sector Levies Report in accordance with Section 6 of the Energy Sector Levies Act 2015, Act 899. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the 2024 Annual Report on the collection and utilization of the African Import Union Levy